Now, we are at a crossroads. To downsize, right-size, and economize government, to upsize the private sector, and if we don't do it now, we will be a colder and a smaller version of the state of California, where their ideology is to raise taxes, they have a big social welfare state, they have people move in by the thousands to become dependent on government, and right now, 1,000 people a day leave California for greener pastures elsewhere. I don't want Minnesota to be like that. We just had a Freedom Foundation report showing it's happening now. It will get worse. If the Democrats control the House, the Senate, and the governorship, you can multiply Washington, D.C. times 10 to the left. And that is what is going to happen under single-party rule. Now, I am optimistic enough to believe that we can take control of the House and the Senate and the governorship. I've been traveling the state the last 7 months. We have a mine in the northeastern part of Minnesota that they're not allowing to open. 2,400 jobs if we give out one permit. 2,400 jobs in an area where the unemployment rate is 21%. Jake Marvin wanted to open up a window plant in the state, in the northwestern part of Minnesota, but because of taxes and regulations went to Grafton, North Dakota. We have a guy who wanted to open up a vodka distillery in Wyndham, Minnesota. Because we have a $30,000 fee to open up a distillery in Minnesota, he went to Iowa, 40 minutes south, where the fee is $350 a year.
Oh my goodness.
30,000 in Minnesota, $350 in Minnesota. Mayo Clinic wants to open a specimens lab. We're the only state in the United States with a provider tax. We are the home base of the Mayo Clinic. They pay millions of dollars. It gets levied against research labs. They're now looking at going to Tennessee with their jobs. If you go over to the border of Maplewood and Woodbury, not that far from here, a group of doctors built a building for radiology and oncology. And the Hospital Association found out about this, and they don't like competition. And all of you know one of the lessons my dad taught me too. The more competition you have in a market, prices go down, quality of service goes up. That happens in healthcare too, ladies and gentlemen. And so what they found out is that they passed a bill through the legislature to outlaw the ability to open up a radiology clinic in Minnesota, and it passed. And there's now an empty building on the border of Maplewood and Woodbury, and the doctors are now looking at going to Hudson, Wisconsin, 8.5 minutes east of the empty building, and taking their income taxes and taking their healthcare choices with them. So we have a jobs crisis in this state. We have 2 metrodomes full of unemployed people in the state of Minnesota right now. And we need to do everything we can to create an environment of opportunity. So our children and our grandchildren, whether it is mining, manufacturing, agriculture, healthcare, rural or metro, have the same God-given opportunities that you and I had growing up in the state of Minnesota. And I love it too much to just walk away. I don't need to be governor. I am not running for re-election for my house state. But let me just wrap it up with this. We need to win. We need to win this year. I run in a district that has been carried by Bill Clinton, Amy Klobuchar, David Minge, Colin Peterson, and my re-election rates have been 60 to 70%. Well, the reality is, in the state of Minnesota as a conservative, we need to appeal to conservative Democrats and conservative independents that also know about the lessons that our parents taught us. You don't spend more money than you bring in. There are Democrats who believe that. Life is precious. That the government doesn't create wealth. That there's opportunity for all of us. If you borrow money, it must be paid back. And we have to appeal to those folks too. Because we can get every Republican vote. And the folks running here in the 4th know this too. And we can't win with that. We've got to broaden it out to those conservatives who are independents. The Tea Party folks, the folks who just believe in government, get out of my life, we've got to get those people on board too. And if we get 95% of the Republicans, 60% of the independents, and 20% of the Democrats, we can get 50.1% of the votes. So it's uphill, folks, and we need all of you. And when it comes time for endorsement, we don't want anybody to take their toys and go home. We need everybody on the same team. We are all part of the same family. I know there are people here who support Dave Hand, Tom Emmer, me, others, none of us, all of us. And at the end of the day, on April 30th, we need everyone on the same page for victory in 2010. So in principle and electable, I'd like to think I'm that candidate. I have nothing bad to say about anybody else, but I can tell you right now, victory is there for us. We just need to seize the opportunity. With that, thank you, God bless you, and God bless the great state of Minnesota.